Up another place again. You see me? Didn't want to go out on this weirdo edge that I'm about to go out on, but listen, I had me my little experience back in 2018, and I'm kind of glad to be around here. So when I get something to say, I'm pretty much going to say it. I'm not going to go to Whale University for nobody. All right? Before I step into this, though, something I want to say. I think I'm pretty much coming back from the dark side of madness, let me tell you. I had me an experience which next time I go down my yard, I gotta tell myself, say, I'm not that busy. When I see somebody mad, when I see somebody like them gone, if I don't have time when I can buy a shirt and pants, I'm going to say, all right, grab a plate of food, we go sit down over here and talk. Because I am so interested behind the story of all of these mad people on the streets. I'm telling you some good shit. Every time you always hear say, a woman do this, a woman do this. I don't understand that. Every man was born 10 to 15 woman born same time with him. A man can date down in age around 20 years. Me not understand that. How come every man where they are Jamaica with mother pum pum and them? I just had an experience. And the reason why I'm gonna go and eat a food with around 10, it's gonna be a number that I can quantify. It'll probably be 10, not 100. So I could say 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. 9 out of 10. And then I could almost bet you my left testicle that it ain't no damn woman that's mad in people. I just had an experience of a long life experience of pain and trauma and hurt and wound. And at the same time, I find this same person still my enemy at the age of 53. Trying to come to me, speaking to me in all qualities of lies. Like, why are you going to manifest that in front of me? I'm seeing through you. So, I actually became completely consumed with the subject matter. Completely consumed to me. Say me have to drop down on my knees and ask Father God, take this wrath off of me. Me no want to deal with it. And that was when I realized that a lot of people you see I walk around, mad and all them things there, no damn pum pum. Ain't nothing but their germsy ass family. Anyhow, what are we looking at here? So much stuff is on the television. Comets. All this stuff going on. And I'm always out on the weird limb. And as much as I would want to sit back and say, yeah, let me just ride the wave as everybody, this is not a freaking comet, guys. This is not a comet. Now, I'm going to run through a couple of events that's been happening in the skies. You connect your own damn dots. All right? First one is the Virgin, Virgo, September 23rd, the Revelation 12 sign. Damn. How do I pause this shit? All right. So right off the bat, astrologers, astronomy, and all of these people are saying that this particular sign in question is a once in a once in 7,000 year event. All right? What else happened right there? You don't need to go into no damn sermon. You're looking at anything in the skies that's telling you once in 7,000 years, your mind should start ticking. While we're talking about that, actually, let me run this down. What else happened in 2017? Okay. 2017. Oumuamua, Oumuamua. All right. Again, 2017, Oumuamua came through. Good. It's, it's a picture work. It's nice and cool. Hey, it's dancing right here. Ooh. Dude is dancing right here. What's up with this dance? Oumuamua came through. And they all show him dancing. They all show him in blue. All right. So the myth behind the blue Kachina is an astronaut, a visitor, not from our system, will dance through the skies. And of course, we're, married and being given and married, working and getting paid, stealing in line and doing all that crazy shit that we do down here. We're not even paying attention. So the visitor came and he danced. You see all these pictures? In the myth, he's a dancing guy. He likes to frickin' dance, apparently. He's a dancer. We got a dancer guy. He's right here dancing again like, hey, I'm the blue Kachina. Yeah. All right. Anyhow, that passed. What I got for number 3? All right. Number 3. Tic-tac-toe. Okay, you got freaking Eclipse playing tic-tac-toe all over the freaking map. 2017, 2024, 2018, 2019, 2020. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So there's a place in Revelation that it speaks about 2 7 years dispensation. And it's telling you some stuff that's going to happen as we're in these 7-year dispensation. 2017 to 24 was one of them. All right. 2025 to 2032, I believe, is the other one. And everything I'm about to tell you right here, I'm looking to find empirical data to show you. No one is coming to you in some voice like, with some extra reverb in it. And the Lord says, everything I'm saying, I'm looking to find empirical data to show you. I'm already weird enough. I'm not looking to get any damn weirder. All right? So, 2017, 2024, tic-tac-toe across your map. Another thing that's kind of funky. 2023, 2025, SATURN, NNEPTUNE. Saturn conjunct Neptune 2025. Saturn transit, Saturn conjunct Neptune. Now, I don't put a whole lot of my study in astronomy. It is a part of the art. You need to know to understand how the heavens is going to speak to you. How does it go? And his words went out throughout no speech or language where his voice is not heard. It's talking about the heavens, the story being told in the heavens. As a matter of fact, a lot of these religions that we take on to in a profane matter, believing in some figure outside of ourselves, these are all stemming from stories in the skies. But anyhow, what's funky right here, dude? 2023 and 2025. And it's going to happen again. No, but that's not him. Okay, here is my 2 cents on this. Right now in the Kali Yuga cycle, we're ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the god of physicality. Where you find, if you want to talk about God, that's Saturn. If you want to talk about Satan, that's Saturn. Let me further qualify. If you want to talk about God of the physical, that is Saturn. All right? Anyhow, what I'm getting at right here is 2023, 2025, Saturn and Neptune conjunct right at 0 degrees at Aries. Now, may not be the sharpest tool in the shed. That's telling me we're getting ready to move from the guards are changing. Here's the deal. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Whose records were not completely destroyed? Rome. Because the Kali Yuga cycle was pretty much ran by Rome, right? Check Rome's history. You go back far enough, you'll see something that Rome had an 8th-day week. Why would Rome had an 8-day week? When you go back far enough in there, you'll find that the Kali Yuga cycle is ran by Saturn. 7 days, moon has 7 cycle. Once this switch and goes back to Neptune, 8 days, the moon has an 8-day cycle. When it switched from the Bronze Age up to the Silver Age, maybe the same physical shape of the moon be there, but a different spirit will then occupy the moon. That spirit will then come from the rebel, the enlightener, Uranus. In the Golden Age, the entity that will be occupying the moon is coming from Sirius. All that has to do with understanding how consciousness moves through the age. But anyhow, the point I'm getting to right here is Neptune, Saturn, right over 0 degrees in Aries. You know it starts at Aries. 0, that's 0, bro. That's a reset. All right? Put it up, boop. Let me see. All right. So, here's the thing now. We talk about the blue Kachina come through dancing. And now they're telling you about 3, 3-eye atlas. Yeah, let's talk about 3-eye atlas. So dude came in the system showing red, and then he transformed the color to green. All right, that's fine. First it was 1 comet, then it was 7, then it was 9. Let me tell you something. This has nothing to do with a comet. All right? I've been studying Nibiru for a hot minute, and I'm going to go through and see if I could get a clip of, see if I could get a clip of the Kulbrin Bible, chapter 3, as it speaks about the destroyer. This is not a comet. First it's 1 comet, then it's 2, then it's 7, then it's 9. Here's the deal. When Nibiru is coming through, and they're telling you what's going on, you're just not picking up on it. A comet is not the size of the Earth. A comet is not 4 times the size of the Earth. A comet is definitely not 100 times the size of the Earth. And they're telling you all these things on the freaking news. All right? They're telling you all these things on the news. Here's the deal. When Nibiru's coming through, you're talking about a body, they say 4 times the size of the Earth, or 4 times the size of Jupiter. No, around the size of Jupiter, 4 times the size of the Earth. All right? But all them I tell you say it's a comet and it's 400 times. That alone should tell you, hey, the hell you beat me over the head with? A steel pipe or 2 before? No comet is 2, 3, 4 times bigger than the Earth. However, now what we're talking about here is Nibiru. All right? So, Elijah Muhammad Mothership, which at one point some of his soldiers kind of, I don't know, man. We used to believe in Elijah Muhammad spaceship, but we're new Muslims now, and we don't believe in that shit no more. The brother was telling you, but anyhow, there is a plethora of scriptures that's speaking about the chariots of God, how your salvation is coming through the heaven, and how God is coming for you, referring Habakkuk 3:8, the chariot of your salvation, the prophet. There is a plethora of Psalms where it's telling you the Lord's chariot is like a cajillion, 10,000 times 10,000 or something like that. It's right there in your documents. All right? All of that chariot stuff and the spaceship stuff is right there in your document. I believe a couple of decades ago, I saw a cigar shape in a document. And of course, I try to go through the Bible and I find out which book did I see a cigar shape in, where it actually described the thing that's coming through as a cigar, as Nibiru, as a cigar shape. What else is a cigar shape? 3-eye atlas. All right? You're not talking about a comet. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be preaching doom here, because everything is all about how you vision things in the inside. But we're not even ready for what's coming. We're not even ready for what's coming. Now is not the time to be, a bad mind and a jealous and a try fight against each other and a do all them things there. Now is the time to find your tribe. And don't define your tribe so strict where you're the only person in the freaking tribe. All right? We all have different level of spiritual evolution. Now is the time to find your tribe. Now is the time to think about surviving for the next 7 years. Now is the time, because we're in the middle of a reset. All right? When you understand how this thing works, this is not new. This happens every change of cycle. People have forget that's where. And the few elected get to start the Garden of Eden all over again. Now, here is the thing. Kachina will unmask in the plaza. The red Kachina will unmask. One of them is going to unmask. Will unmask in the plaza. Let me see. The phrase red Kachina unmask in the plaza is a reference to the Hopi prophecy regarding the time of the global purification and change. This is not a literal event that expected to occur. Hopi prophecy, red Kachina, the purifier. So when the blue Kachina comes through, he's pretty much telling you, hey guys, heads up. My bigger brother's coming behind me. I'm going to give you 7 years to go get your backyard clean. 7 years. Because when the purifier come through, yo, boy, yo, Zechariah or Zephaniah say that shit's going in the house of every low-life liar and thief, everyone that swear falsely by his name. Yo, man, I want to lie than thief on me, no. Damn, I'm about to go freaking put a blood cross on my door. Don't come up in here, Baba. Me no like liar than thief either. Go get their ass. Me no like them either. Go and go get them. Me tired of them too. That's it. Yeah. And I will send it out, declares the Lord of hosts. Okay, and it will enter into the house of the thief and anyone who swears falsely by my name. And it will remain there and destroy it completely. Hey, no want no thief and liar around me in these times, you know. Yeah. No thief and liar around me at these times, and will destroy completely both the timbers and the stones started. Yo, all right. Here's what I'm going to jump into real quick. Because nothing that I want to say, I don't want to say it without showing you receipts. Okay. Yo, so back in the 90s, we were listening to this guy Sound like he's from West Virginia with no front teeth, but never mind what the hell he sound like. Pay attention to what he's saying. Dude is saying, man, when this thing comes through town, you're going to look up one morning and you're going to see that red thing in the sky. It's going to have so much gravity power. It's going to suck your brains right out of your head. It's going to have you walking around with lily water. The Kulbrin Bible is saying something almost similar to this. The heck is this crap right now? Yeah, the Kulbrin Bible is pretty much saying the same thing. Kulbrin, Kulbrin Bible. CHAPTER3. This is funky. This is some funky stuff. All right. The Destroyer. 5 minutes. Text and video. It's around this, yeah. Destroyer.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm back with another video. I'm going to be doing the Kulbrin Bible. What made me and when it would return in its appointed hour. If you don't know, this is referring to Nibiru and its orbital path around our sun approximately every 3,600 years.
I wanted the audio book.
The appointed hour is referring to the day of the Lord, as it would be a day of darkness and gloom, a day of wrath and judgment for
All right, let's rock with this. I thought it was longer than 4 minutes. It's not the full thing.
From the Kulbrin.
Kulbrin Bible read to you by Nick Andrew Hurley. Salutation or prologue in the Bronze Book, now incorporated in the Kulbrin. Greetings, unborn ones, now asleep in the dark womb of the future.
Alright, here we go.
The Kulbrin Bible read to you by Nick Andrew Hurley. Chapter 3, The Destruction and Recreation. It is known, and the story comes down from ancient times, that there was not one creation, but two. A creation and a recreation. It is a fact known to the wise.
In the beginning, when it says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, that word does not mean create. It means to recreate out of existing substance.
That the earth was utterly destroyed once, then reborn on a second wheel of creation. At the time of the great destruction of earth, God caused a dragon from out of heaven to come and encompass her about. The dragon was frightful to behold. It lashed its tail, it breathed out fires and hot coals, and a great catastrophe was inflicted upon mankind. The body of the dragon was wreathed in a cold, bright light, and beneath, on the belly, was a ruddy-hued glow, while behind it trailed a flowing tail of smoke. It spewed out cinders and hot stones, and its breath was foul and stenchful, poisoning the nostrils of men. Its passage caused great thunderings and lightnings to rend the thick darkened sky, all heaven and earth being made hot. The seas were loosened from their cradles and rose up, pouring across the land. There was an awful shrilling trumpeting, which outpoured even the howling of the unleashed winds. Men, stricken with terror, went mad at the awful sight in the heavens. They were loosed from their senses and dashed about.
Did you hear that? Now, I swear back in the 90s, I gotta stop saying I swear. I think I remember right back in the 90s, this is what that old guy was talking about You're gonna wake up one morning, you're gonna see that red thing over your head, it's gonna pull your brain right out of your head. He's talking like this, but this is what the Kulbrin Bible is saying. I may need to go get me a motorcycle freaking helmet.
Crazed, not knowing what they did. The breath was sucked from their bodies, and they were burnt with a strange ash. Then it passed, leaving Earth unwrapped within a dark and glowering mantle, which was readily lit up inside.
By the way, what Nibiru the Destroyer is, it is the mechanism of the Earth. As it's here, according to Dr. Malachi Shedek York, and it passes through, it takes 3,600 years out and 3,600 years back. That's the 7,000 year cycle. But a part of its mechanism is once we're down here and we start get wicked and I kill all this and that and go on with all kind, we're pulling this thing to us. That's his job. It has to come now. You know, clean up on aisle 5. Grab the freaking mop and the bucket and the broom. It's got to come clean shit up. It's the purifier. Tell you. Now is some time to free up your energy, though. Now is some time to free up your energy. I had this one issue, and it was riding my energy so much. This person that was involved, I know they're a dark creature of the night because them know them wicked, but at the same time, they wanted to parasite my energy. And I had to put a stop to that. Now is the time to free up your energy. Now is the time to find your tribe. Now ain't the time to be, I've accomplished all this in life. Now is the time to maybe get a little acre out in nowhere where it's like $4,000 or $5,000. And, free Wi-Fi, free energy device. And go and live off of the earth while you do your hustle same way. Because right now, it's all about who's making it. So wait. I could just be full of caca. Is there a big thing called Project 2030? The bigger heads already know, and they already have things scheduled. And as a matter of fact, the Jerusalem World Order that wanted to stretch Jerusalem from freaking the Nile River go way out to Babylon. I think they call that the Greater Jerusalem. That's what they're fighting to do right now, which don't look like they're going to make it, boys and girls. Don't look like they're going to make it. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing the Beast Nation eating up the little horn in around the next 2-3 years. They're all going to turn on her.
The bowels of the earth were torn open in great wreathings, upheavals, and howling whirlwinds rent the mountains apart. The wrath of the sky monster was loosened in the heavens. It lashed about in flaming fury, roaring like 1,000 thunders. It poured down fiery destruction amid a welter of thick black blood. So awesome was the fearful, aspecting thing that the memory mercifully departed from man. His thoughts were smothered under a cloud of forgetfulness. The earth vomited forth great gusts of foul breath from awful mouths opening in the midst of the land. The evil breath bit at the throat before it drove men mad and killed them. Those who did not die in this manner were smothered in a cloud of red dust and ashes, or were swallowed by the yawning mouths of earth or crushed beneath crashing rocks. The first sky monster was joined by another, which swallowed the tail of the one going before, but the two could not be seen at once. The sky monster reigned enraged above earth, doing battle to possess it, but the many-bladed sword of God cut them to pieces, and their falling bodies enlarged the lands and the sea. In this manner, the first earth was destroyed by calamity descending from out of the skies. The vaults of heaven had opened to bring forth monsters more fearsome than any that had ever haunted the uneasy dreams of men. Men and their dwelling places were gone. Only sky boulders and red earth remained where they once were. But amidst all the desolation, a few survived, for man is not easily destroyed. They crept out of caves and came down from the mountainsides. Their eyes were wild and their limbs trembled. Their bodies shook and their tongues lacked control. Their faces were twisted and the skin hung loose on their bones. They were as maddened wild beasts driven into an enclosure before flames. They knew no law, and being deprived of all the wisdom they once had, and those who guided them were gone. The earth, the only true altar of God, had offered up a sacrifice for life and sorrow to atone for the sins of mankind. Man had not sinned in deed, but in the things he had failed to do. Man suffers not only for what he does, but for what he fails to do. He is not chastised for making mistakes, but for failing to recognize and rectify them. Then the great canopy of dust and cloud which encompassed the earth, enshrouding it in the heavenly darkness, was pierced by redly light, and the canopy swept down in great cloudbursts and raging storm waters. Cool moon tears were shed for her sister earth and the woes of men. When the light of the sun pierced the earth's shroud, bathing the land in its revitalizing glory, the earth again knew night and day, for there were now times of light and times of darkness. The smothering canopy rolled away, and the vaults of heaven became visible to man. The foul air was purified, and new air clothed the reborn earth, shielding her from the dark, hostile void of heaven. The rainstorm...
So the destroyer in the Kulbrin, Nibiru in the Sumerian, wormwood in the Bible, which is going to come and poison the water. Apparently, according to the Kulbrin Bible, the air itself too is going to become poisonous.
Ceased to beat upon the face of the land, and the waters stilled their turmoil. Earthquakes no longer...
Let me ask you a question, though. You realize that we're having freaking zombie animals? A bunch of animals are coming up sick with zombie crap all over them. The amount of whales are beaching themselves. This number is getting higher. You guys are realizing that?
Tore the earth open, nor was it burned and buried by hot rocks. The land masses were re-established in stability and solidity, standing firm in the midst of the surrounding waters. The oceans fell back to their assigned places, and the land stood steady upon its foundations. The sun shone upon land and sea, and life was renewed upon the face of the earth. Rain fell gently.
The ocean fell back to their assigned places. That means everything that all these researchers saying, if you're by the coastline, you may have issues. Here's the thing. Humanity hovers by the river line and the coastline all over the world. It's always been like that. All right? Even in America here, you probably have 40% of the population on the East Coast, 40% of the population on the West Coast, and 20% of the population in the middle, where there's a whole bunch of nothing there. So when this shit comes and it changes the course of the sea, here goes that harvesting again.
Once more, and clouds fleeced, floating across dark skies. The waters were purified, and the sentiments sank, and life increased in abundance. Life was renewed, but it was different. Man survived, but he was not the same. The sun was not as it had been, and the moon had been taken away. Man stood in the midst of renewal and regeneration. He looked up into the heavens above.
The sun is not as it has been, and the moon was taken away. The sun was not as it has been. The sun is never the same as the age goes by. So when these big shift comes and it change, both the sun is not the same and the moon is not the same. The vessel containing the sun may looks the same, but the entity that's occupying the sun will change, which adds to this whole change of the vibration. And while you think that's crazy, somewhere in Revelation 16 or 17 says, and there was an angel in the sun, and it strike man, and they repented not, and it just kept striking them. Right there in your Bible. Somebody's living in that damn sun.
Above in fear, for the awful powers of destruction lurking there. Henceforth, the placid sky would hold a terrifying secret. Man found the new earth firm and the heavens fixed, and he rejoiced, but also feared, for he lived in dread that the heavens would again bring forth monsters and crash about him. When men came forth from their living places and refuges, the world that their fathers had known was gone forever. The face of the land was changed, and earth was littered with rocks and stones which had fallen when the structure of heaven collapsed. One generation escaped, in the desolation and gloom, and as the thick darkness was dispelled, its children believed they were witnessing a new creation. Time passed, memory dimmed, and the record of Evans was no longer clear. Generation followed generation, as the ages unfolded, new tongues and new tales replaced the old. End of chapter 3.
All right, so I think that's all I have to support that what we have coming between the end of October and 2026, as they're saying, it's not a comet, guys. This is not a comet. This is the big one. I'll tell you what this is. What this is the stone. Perfect. This stone right here. Now, you hear me talk a few times about these ages that you may think, oh, that's just some Hindu shit. Talking about the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, and right under the ankle, they have something real funky going on with the iron trying to cleave to the miry clay, and they can't cleave. This Nibiru that's coming through, this is what we're looking at right here. Okay? And there's no fear. There is no fear. You have to be solid within yourself. You have to be solid within yourself. And who are going to make it, I'm going to make it. Who not going to make it, not going to make it. One thing is for sure is the Prime Nation will be protected. The Prime Nation will be resurrected. As a matter of fact, when the okay, the blue Kachina, one of the things that he's going to do, the red Kachina, let me see if they're showing it. He's going to unmask in the plaza, right in the plaza. Now, what's a plaza? Okay, look, okay, here you go. This is showing exactly. It looked like he's doing what? Taking that freaking mask off. He's about to go. The game is over. Everything that's hidden, mankind, you see dude right here, he's looking, and when he saw, I've never seen this before, I'm just using some common sense. This is mankind on the earth looking and like everything he thought was real. Now, once the red Kachina comes and he goes and he unmasks in the plaza. The plaza is the ritual circle, a prayer circle, Nyabingi circle, a ritual circle. So, which makes perfect sense. When these things are done, it is not done in the public. All of a sudden, the public knows, because that's how it's done, right? Now, I saw these things, UFO balls, ICBALS. Right. There were these balls that were falling down all over the freaking place. But anyhow, it's also in the UFO. Oh, what the fudge is all this? I see some Navy footage. So, okay, spherical. I see some of them with all different kind of signs on it. As a person who studies on the path of the initiate, and I'm looking at things, yeah, from the physical, but I also think I have somewhat of an idea how the other side works. All these balls are dropping all over the place and everything. Now, if a little guy like me knows the 72 archaic divinity that occupies 5 degrees each in the 360 degrees zodiac, which they call demons, and the spiritual technology works in a way where a sigil or a seal is there. I've seen some of them with all kind of crazy marking and sigil on them. Right off the back when I see it, that's what I'm thinking about. We're about to get all kind of spiritual upgrades. If you've been putting in the work, you should be getting all kind of spiritual upgrades. All kind of spiritual upgrades. Anyhow, it's about all I have for this one right here. Yeah, more life, more love.